Okay, first, before I wander off into some bizarre, obscure topic, some of you claim to have wonderful and strange things to send me, so my P.O. box is up now. You can send them to me. Check my About page on either this channel or my main channel, and you'll see the address to send things to me. I don't think if you want to send money to me that you're supposed to send it that way. Some of you actually do want to send money to me, and rightfully so. I just don't I mean, in my defense, this, making videos takes a lot of effort, and no, the AdSense revenue does not adequately compensate me for it, despite what a lot of you think, that you're paying your dues by sitting through advertisements. No, that actually pays mostly the YouTube/Google platform. What trickles down to me really doesn't compensate me for the trouble that I go through to film, edit, upload, and deal with the other headaches associated with this. And why don't I have a Patreon? I've been hemming and hawing about it. I kind of have to set one up simply because I have no other option that I like. But okay, what's my problem with Patreon? I have an ethical problem with it. And a lot of you will take issue with what I say, but look, Patreon is not some supporter of creativity. It's just a funds transfer service, and they take a 15% cut. I mean, come on, sales tax doesn't take a 15% cut. That's ridiculous. And it's not because of greed. It's just because I can't, in clean conscience, recommend that if you want to send me a couple bucks, that you should go through their service. I'm struggling with it, and I'm so damn stubborn that I just don't even accept funds over it. I don't know what to say. I'm crazy. Lots to talk about. French cleat stuff. I mean, this is like worthy of a video of its own. I might actually do that because I still have leftover material, and now that I've really figured out how the French cleat system works, and I can definitely recommend it. It's awesome. I'm coming off a bad 10-year relationship with pegboard, and I am ready to move on. So I think I'm going to add some here as well. And the hangers are they're brilliant. I mean, if you're crafty, you'll just totally enjoy improvising hangers for every one of your tools. And I'll move on to discuss that later. For now, I have other plans. I would like to talk about that just because it's awesome, but I'll get to that in a different video. It's French cleat related. This, no, I'm not really into the hunting thing. I found this beast in the woods, believe it or not, and he's just a masterpiece. So I'm going to hang him up with my helmets in the back, and so I'm at the moment trying to devise some kind of support system. I shoved a piece of PVC, I better get a tripod, hold on a second. YouTube success, that's the topic of this, if you can call it a topic. But the subject that I'm dancing around is YouTube success, and what I mean by that is that success in this platform is a double-edged sword. It's nice to have traffic because you get views and money and all of the associated pleasantries with becoming a pseudo-internet celebrity. But what's bad, especially with that axe video thing, it attracted a different demographic to people that don't normally watch these. So the normal traffic on my second channel is somewhere between, well, for an uneventful video, something like 2,500 views, and for an exciting one, something like 5,000 or 6,000, 7,000, occasionally 10,000, occasionally 100,000. The last video that I just posted, I kind of knew it was coming based on the title and the axe demographic that I was trying to kind of coax into bed. If you look at the title and you look at the thumbnail, you'll see what I mean. So it shot up to something like 60,000 views in the first day and a half, which is pretty big for my second channel. On my first channel, that's not so big. Okay, so I'll return to that in a minute. I shoved a piece of PVC pipe into, you know, where his to the base of his skull, where his spinal cord attaches. Yeah, that's where the bundle of nervous, that's where your, look, that's where your spinal cord attaches. Well, his spinal cord attached. It's where the bundle of nerves that go into the brain connects. And it's really solid there because, as you can imagine, it supports the head. And it's a heavy head, I might add, because he has to, like, smash this horn-infused head into other bucks for territorial dominance and right to female, whatever. Yeah, so it's pretty strong. And he's quite a buck too, I might say. Okay, whoa, what am I supposed to be talking about again? On this recent video, everybody's saying that I ramble too much, I talk too much. That's kind of the premise of this channel, though. It's a second channel, but they're not watching the entire video, and they don't understand the context because they're a new demographic. They're fresh off the boat, and they're not accustomed to the climate here. Which is, you know, you're supposed to forgive me and let me wander. That's what I'm doing. You wander, don't you? You mentally wander. We all do. This is my place to do it. Okay, so I'm going to probably melt it. Not melt it, but use a heat gun to bend it a little bit and then make a mounting I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I don't want to think aloud about it because I'm not even sure. It's not my central focus. What is my central focus? Well, the axe thing. And then I move on to another subject. This was a guinea pig cage. It's not the best way to build a guinea pig cage, but this is what I did. The tray is aluminum trim coil. It's a wooden frame. It's just 2x4s that were stained. But I made an aluminum trim coil pan to make it moisture and dirt resistant. And it worked pretty well, but I didn't keep the guinea pig in here very long. So we bought a guinea pig, this is, I don't know, 12 years ago. And we didn't know what we were doing, but we thought, you know, it's just a little rodent, what's the big deal? Let's try it out for a little bit. Well, she was a sweetheart, but she came from the pet store pregnant. And so we ended up with 3 guinea pigs. And we found out eventually why these acrylic glass cages are not the ideal. So I've been lugging it around for over a decade now. It's been in an attic in storage, and I'm finally, even though I think its craftsmanship is lovely, I'm going to take it apart today. I'm going to salvage the acrylic glass from it. But before doing so, I figured I would it's kind of clever, and the way that it fits together, and it worked well for cleaning and everything else. I just thought that I would capture it on film before it goes to the boneyard. I don't recommend doing this for a guinea pig at all, because a CNC cage is the superior option. And wow, over the years, we really devised some clever cage system or cage constructions out of the CNC cage. But now I just have the parts, and here are some. This is what CNC is. It's made from these, what are called cubes, and they're these wireframe boxes that you can connect with these clever little fasteners into any configuration that you want. And then you line it with a coroplast pan. That's where the CNC comes from, cubes and coroplast. It's fun because it's modular and it's open to a lot of options. We had one that was 3 stories tall. It was pretty neat. I don't recommend having a guinea pig at all. I fell into it because life moves you into strange directions sometimes. I certainly don't recommend one for a child because they're fragile and they're not affectionate like you might think. If our culture wasn't so hung up on appearances and so put off by the bubonic plague, we would probably be more receptive to having a rat for a pet because they're lovely creatures and they're very intelligent. But I don't think I'm ready to make that commitment yet. But before I move away from the subject of rodents, I would like to say that you haven't lived until you've experienced baby guinea pigs. They are a hoot. They're just happy to be alive. Here, vertical storage for pipes and stuff is another application of what remains of those cubes. That is great. I'm going to put some casters on it. That's a subject of a different video though. I keep wandering away. The subject is really axes. I bought a bunch of axes, and so I'm not going to completely escape the axe demographic. I'm going to have to, well, attempt to make some kind of peace with you guys, as I have to with every new demographic that joins this channel. The puzzle demographic was brutal, though. I mean, you people, those of you who remain, the puzzle demographic was harsh. They really criticized me. Okay, so these hatchets I just picked up at the flea mart, and I'm gonna have, they're in various stages of health, so I'm going to have to resuscitate them, and I'll be doing that on upcoming videos. Yeah, that one too. So what's my point? I'm not escaping the axe demographic, and it might further the development of this second channel despite my reservations with that. Look, popularity is a double, not popularity. Well, I guess it is. YouTube's success is its equivalent to popularity, I suppose. Not the same sort of popularity that you get in high school, but popularity as, or with respect to how many views you get. It's a double-edged sword because, as I was saying before, I think, in this video, my normal demographic here is between 2,000 and 5,000 people, and those people, you people, you're awesome. I tell you this all the time. I mean, you guys are like, I don't know that you're necessarily similar in your mindsets, but we at least respect one another, even if we disagree on some things. And I enjoy talking to you in the comments, and your feedback has been unbelievably helpful. The ideas that I get from you make me better, and it's amazing some of the ideas that some of you come up with. I would encourage some of you who don't to read the comments. They're not always toxic, but new viewers that come from come as part of a new demographic as popularity increases, at first they just don't even treat me like I'm human. I'm just an object, and I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm wasting resources, and I expected as much with the axe demographic. They have their beliefs, they're new to this channel, they don't want to see me question the status quo. There's a trial by fire that comes with YouTube popularity, where certain personalities have already established themselves as the credible purveyors of legitimate axe information. And to crack into that nut, it's tough. And I'm not trying to. I don't have any expertise to offer. But nevertheless, I'm going to be making some videos about restoring these, so stay tuned. Thanks and goodbye for now.